Do you think it would be possible to kill skin cancer cells on the skin without harming the skin around it? Well, I got to tell you, the answer is yes. It's actually a fairly simple answer. As you know, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of skin cancers are removed every single day. And a very simple way is just to take nitrogen and burn them. Because once you kill those cells, the normal cells, they grow back. But it hurts. You got to go to the dermatologist. There's got to be another way. So let me explain exactly how skin cancer cells work, at least in my humble opinion, and you can decide for yourself. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming that I can cure skin cancer, but I can sure explain to you something about it, and you can try it for yourself if you like. Skin cancer is unique. Skin cancer and regular cancer, in my humble opinion, are the same in principle. They function the same way. What do I mean by that? The large majority of cancer starts because of a low oxygen environment. Of course, a human being is made to live on oxygen. We are aerobic. We live and we breathe. Cancer cells, it was proven long ago that cancer cells very often start because of a low oxygen environment. In other words, if you starve them of oxygen, they continue to live, but they flip over and they become what's called fermenting cells. Now, what is a fermenting cell? A fermenting cell is just that. It ferments sugars, and from that it derives its energy. But it also requires a low oxygen environment. So if you could make that environment incredibly full of oxygen, those cells can no longer live. And yet the normal cells, your skin cells, can live in a high oxygen environment just fine. So I've created a product. It's called Awesomely Alkaline Moisturizer. And it's just that. Anything that's radically, ridiculously, massively alkaline and yet won't harm the skin, in other words, it's not caustic, in my opinion, would shut down the malignant cell very quickly. Because when you add oxygen to the fermenting process, it stops immediately. Just sort of like if you're making wine or you're making beer, those are very specifically designed. You can't open the hatch. You can't give oxygen back to the fermenting process because it's done. It won't work. So I designed a product that, let's say you had a little skin cancer growing. You would put it on, and what immediately starts, one of the tricks that I've used are what are called drivers. These drivers literally force the alkalinity through, and it can hurt, it can burn. But it's a good burn because you know it's getting this oxygen, this alkalinity down to where it needs to go. And many times it will work. So that's how it works. It's certainly worth a try. Obviously, if you have a serious problem, please go to the doctor. And I'm not just saying that because it could be very serious. But we've had many reports, and also with precancerous skin spots, as they call it, in my opinion, it's the exact same thing. These are cells which are going down the path. And if you, in my humble opinion, if you gave them massive amounts of oxygen, they would die. Also, in my ESP line, there's also Even Steven Oil Neutralizer. That one is exactly the opposite. Even Steven is very far on the acid side. So the principle behind it is if you can't kill it with an alkaline, maybe you can kill it with an acid. And then there's the product right in the middle called Gold Digger. And Gold Digger works in a completely different way, and try it with that too. In other words, you don't really need to know what the spot is to be able to affect it from many different directions, and there's a very good chance you're going to be able to affect those cells, kill them, normal cells will go back, and you can move on with your life. Wouldn't that be awesome? That's what I got to offer. All you got to do now is try. Thank you.